what would you say in your situation, got you that peace of mind to actually make the jump, and not only make the jump, but actually make it work, which is where 80% of the insurance agents fail once they make the jump?
I'm gonna give you one thing that helped me tremendously, and it was finding a mentor. I think that's extremely important because people don't do things out of fear, right? They're scared of the unknown. They don't know how it's gonna look on the other side. And when I did my transition, I had already saw something similar. When my dad went from being a captive agent on the insurance side and he went to independent, I saw a huge trajectory of better income, better lifestyle, just better overall. And so when I was doing my transition, it really helped me because I was like, man, I remember when my dad did that. All I have to do is do the same work and just go find my client. But people buy from who they like. I have customers say, wherever you go, I go. And wow, that makes you feel really well because that means that you're doing something right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Ideas Edition podcast of 2026. I am so excited to be back here with different guests. This is the podcast for business owners, entrepreneurs, and insurance agents. So welcome. I am so excited for our guest today. His name is Hector Rodriguez, and he's actually the National Payment Advisor and Managing Partner for Florida Merchant Services. He's been a friend of mine for about 2 years now, and I am so excited. He has built a great business, and I'm so excited to share what you have done and how you can help others in this industry with your expertise. So thank you for being here, Hector. How you doing, man?
Good to see you again. 2 years. That's like it flew by.
I know, man. I know.
So it flies by when you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
And you learn and all that. So I've been good, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here again. And you had an incredible journey and in your industry, and you've been very, very successful at it. But merchant services, who would have thought? There's a niche, but I think it's a really unique industry, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys make maybe a little percent of a little of each transaction, but then there's trillions of transactions, right?
Correct.
So that is interesting how you got in it. So I would like to know, if you can tell the audience, Hector, where you come from, maybe how you got started in merchant services.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I've been in sales all my life. I've been selling before I was legally able to get a job, which is the crazy part. But my dad has been in the insurance industry for 30 plus years, from New York City, born and raised in Brooklyn.
Nice.
And then we moved down here in 2004 to Central Florida, and we've seen Central Florida grow to what it is now. And with all that being said, I'll give you a story and then kind of bring you back to current because it's crazy. But,
Yeah.
One of my dad's first side hustle or investment is he bought the candy machines, the quarter machines, that you would see at like supermarket and things of that nature. So he bought 150 of those.
Wow.
Right? And our goal one summer was to go and put out as many machines as possible into the businesses. So I was door knocking, and we had a pitch. We had a little picture of the machine. It's like, hey, we're here for this, and we'd like to see if we can place the machine at the business. And come full circle, like now my main business is that in a nutshell, is knocking on businesses, telling them, hey, can I put my machine in your business, and we'll give you this service and this rate. So it's funny how's that kind of like come around.
That's crazy. How old were you when you?
I was between 14, because he had that business for like around 2 years. So between 14 and 16 years old.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And you will go to him to knock on businesses and doors.
So my brother and I, so it will be my brother and I and him. My dad will be the designated driver. Obviously, we didn't have driver's license and all that. And we would just go up and down Kissimmee, Orlando, and just door knock for the machines. Hey, can I put my machine in your business? And it'll be funny. The owners will be like, hey, can I get a cut? And so my dad would teach me, hey, ask him, like, do you want a cut out of 25 cents? Right? Like the Zig Ziglar thing. And it's funny, like the business owner would be like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not going to take 5 cents from you. And we were young, right? And so it was like,
Yeah.
It was crazy. This is before social media, so good stuff though. Good.
Wow.
A lot of learning experience that I got from there. So
That
yeah.
that is incredible. Yeah. And I like those early experiences because it kind of helps you
Oh yeah.
lose that I'm afraid or the
Correct.
I'm afraid to talk to people, right? Did you experience that at that age?
At first, yes, but I'll take you to another story back then. It'll be quick. Um, my dad actually sold jeans and perfumes in the corner streets of New York City. He sold hot dogs
Oh my God.
in the corner streets. So this guy is a hustler, right? So I saw that. He didn't have to tell me. I just saw that and remembered.
Wow.
And so, when I did the candy machines, you get the little butterflies in your stomach, but after repetition, it starts becoming second nature.
Awesome.
And I was a little scared at first, but my dad would pay us $10 a machine plate. So it was like I wanted a pair of sneakers for the summer. So it was like I'm gonna try to put as many machines as possible. One summer we did 75 machines.
That was your
And
motivation. Wow.
in 2.5 months we did 75 machines. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably like one a day almost.
Yeah, give or take. And at one point that business was pumping out $3,000 a month in revenue. Just by selling the candy machines.
Wow.
Well, it was crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
insane.
It was good times. It was fun.
Wow. So I'm glad that happened and and you had that experience, and it's important because not everybody has that mentor, that's someone that will help you through a sales process. And so I'm glad you had that experience. And then from there, how you ended up in merchant services?
So after I graduated high school, I went through a couple like regular random jobs in food and beverage and in retail. And then I got this one phone call. I had my resume posted on Career Builder. I got this call from this telecommunication company, and back then it was called Bright House Networks. Now it's called Spectrum.
I remember Bright House.
Bright House. So
whoa,
I did almost every single thing that had to do with sales over the phone with them. So I went from selling to residential all the way to selling to national customers. And that was over a decade that I was with that company. They treated me really well. Compensation was great. And to transition, one of my position was to do door to door on the internet, on the business side, selling cable, internet, and phone, things of that nature. And I was a part of a B&I group. And I met my friend now, mentor / business partner, which is my friend Jamar. And I met him there, and it's funny. A few months back, I was doing interviews. I was one of the managers in a previous role. And I did an interview with this guy. He's like, "Yeah, I used to sell merchant services, and I sold my portfolio, and I got X amount and all this." And I was like, "Okay, great." I didn't know much about it. But when I met him, I made that comment to him. And it's funny. He tells me now, he's like, I knew that you were gonna be in the business just because you said that, because I had like an idea of what the business worked. But long story short, all the way through the pandemic, I had still working with the previous company, and something was bothering me, and it was the fact that I could not earn a certain dollar amount in the corporate world. So we has been in touch for months, years. I've sending him referrals, and I sent them a really big referral. I was like, "What does the numbers look like on something like this?" And he told me, and I was like, "All right, all right." So, and then came full circle on 2018 is kind of where I was a referral partner, but 2021 is where I took it serious.
Yeah.
And I got busy, man. And I went and I started door knocking for merchant services. I learned the business, learned the ins and outs, and I haven't looked back a day since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So pretty much you quit your job, right?
Correct.
You left the stable salary and
Correct.
all of those perks,
Yeah,
to kind of pursue this independent business owner, do it yourself business, right? Because of the opportunity.
yeah. I saw something that he showed me, not on a piece of paper, but just by somebody's actions. You can read a lot. When you hang out with somebody successful, you can gather some things. And I saw that I can be really successful at doing that, doing what he's doing. Because in my mind, I'm like, you're no different than I am. I can hustle and I can work, and we're gonna get it done, if you will.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was a good transition. It was hard in the first like 6 months, but one thing that I did that helped me a lot was I just looked at all my expenses, cut them all the way down.
That's good.
Had like 6 months reserve, and I told myself, I told my wife, and I told Jamar as well. It was like, this is only plan A. I'm not going back. There's no plan B. There's no backup. I'm all in. And once I had that mindset, like the results came immediately, because it was like I needed to be successful at this. I needed to prove to myself. I needed to prove to, family members or even friends that I already had like a slight doubt, right? Because you can be in a corporate world. We can have a conversation about entrepreneurship, and then you're gonna share your doubts that you may have. And I was getting a lot of that during that time frame. I was like, I felt confident. I feel, confident with my faith, which is extremely important. That I was like, God got me. We're gonna get it done, and we're gonna see success. We're gonna see results. Let's do it. And it's been that.
Well, I think that's so important. And in our industry, the insurance industry, it's a little bit similar. There's the corporate insurance agents where they sell for a major carrier, and they make commission and a salary and maybe bonuses, but they don't own their book of business. They're selling for the company, and they can only represent maybe one product. And then there's the independent side where you kind of own your own, but then you can build a portfolio of clients. You can actually build something for yourself, and in the insurance business, it's really hard for them to make that transition of leaving a stable salary and the perks versus going independent. What would you say in your situation got you that peace of mind to actually make the jump, and not only make the jump but actually make it work, which is where 80% of the insurance agents fail once they make the jump?
Man, I'm gonna give you one thing that helped me tremendously, and it was finding a mentor. I think that's extremely important, because people don't do things out of fear, right? They're scared of the unknown. They don't know how it's gonna look on the other side. And when I did my transition, I had already saw something similar. When my dad went from being a captive agent on the insurance side and he went to independent, I just seen like, and I was at the age that I was able to grasp what he was saying. I mean, I saw a huge trajectory of better income, better lifestyle, just better overall.
Wow.
And so when I was doing my transition, it really helped me, because I was like, man, I remember when my dad did that. Like, it makes sense. And so for me, I was like, yeah, I all I have to do is do the same work and just go find my client. And I mean, if you've been doing sales for a while, you know that people buy because of you.
Exactly.
Not so much the company. The company supports you, but people buy from who they like, period.
Exactly.
You treat them well, you give them good service, and ultimately they feel comfortable with you. Right now, until this day in my business, it's like I have customers say, wherever you go, I go. Right. And
wow,
that makes you feel really well, because that means that you're doing something right. And so anybody out there that's like worry about the transition, just find a mentor, because the mentor is going to guide you mentally to say, hey, it's going to go like this for the first 6 months. Then this is going to happen. Right. And they create that roadmap for you, so that way you do feel comfortable.
Wow.
But I mean, that helped me out tremendously. Seriously.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Having the mentor.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think that's the first step when you go independent. You go on your own, but you don't have a mentor. It's like,
it's
you
hard.
make so many mistakes along the way, right?
It's hard, man. And one thing that, if you're an A-type player and you're in sales, right, there's different type of players. But if you're an A-type player, right, it's really hard to accept criticism, number one, and number two, accept advice and wisdom from other people. But if you lower that guard, man, you'll be surprised. Like, even in our group, like, I learned so much.
Yeah.
Like, I learned what not to do and what to do. I learned more what not to do.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Like,
So
and it's like it puts us in a position to win in the future, you know?
yeah, so much expertise, and you can learn from all these CEOs, right? So that is amazing. So let's talk about sales and marketing, because I feel you have a great background. You learn a lot of things from your dad, right? So, you know, if for someone starting, let's say in the insurance industry, and it's very similar industries, you know, you have to go out, knock on doors on that. What are some of the tips you will maybe tell to that new person that you have under your group so that they can be successful?
One of the first tip is to identify how you're gonna go to market, right? There's so many different avenues nowadays. Like, you can do social media, you can do door knocking, you could do telemarketing. There's so many different routes, but you need to pick one and be really good at it first, so you can see results immediately, right? And I would go back and identify, you know, as an individual, and go back and say, okay, you know, what has been working for me? What was I successful at doing first? And for me personally, right, just to wrap it all around, like, I was good at door knocking and talking to people and face to face. And I'm also really good over the phones, right? But you need to have leads to be good on the phones, and you need to have sales to get the leads. Like, it's like, you need to identify, okay, I'm good at this. Okay. I'm going to do this for 12 to 24 months. I'm going to get results. Okay. I'm going to focus. That's the other thing too. Like, people lack focus on how they're going to go to market.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is part of your marketing and sales tactic, right? You want to go back, you want to analyze, okay, I'm going to go to market. This is how I'm going to reach out to customers. This is how I'm going to get results. And then you start pivoting and adding different branches to that. So, yeah, I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, and that's so good. So finding what is your strength, and then just focus on a strategy with your strength, so that you can have the results. How was it like for you, Hector? So you made this transition. Now you have to go into market. So tell me, how were those 6 months, 12 months, 24 months?
Man, one thing for sure, one thing for certain, like, and most people can relate. Most people that can relate if they've been in this position, but I work really well when my back is against the wall and I need to provide results. And those first 6 months, I remember it like if it was yesterday, and I had to hit a number.
Yeah.
Okay. And my number was $7,000 to fully like exit my corporate job. But I was okay with settling at 5.
Okay.
And I needed to get at $5,000 in revenue in 6 months. So I started in August, and by December I was at like 4,500. But one of the things that I do remember that helped me tremendously is I was looking for underserved areas. I was looking for areas that nobody's knocking in, right? I wanted to break ground, because typically when that happens, it's like you'll get the results that you want. And it's funny, we have this conversation, but I'm thinking of another part of my business recently that I did the same thing. I'm looking for underserved areas or industries that I can go in there and be a professional and be an advisor and provide the level of service that people are looking for, the business owners, for me, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, I remember it like if it was yesterday, and it was tough. I would go in a suit. This is the summertime here in Florida. I would come home, like my shirt is drenched, and I'm talking to my good friend Jamar, the part owner of the company, and he's like, "Hey, I did the same thing," right? And so just because he said that, there was normality to what was going on. Like, it's not out of the norm, and it was like, you're successful, you've done it. All right, it's my turn to earn my stripes, if you will, right?
Awesome, man.
So, yeah.
Awesome, man. So, wow. And it's so funny you say that, because I think every business, it's the same principles. You have to go out there, market yourself.
Yep.
You mentioned something key, that I hope you guys got this. And it's about focusing on a special niche or underserved communities or underserved people or
Areas.
areas.
Mhm.
That's huge because I think if someone is able to identify that and then go at it, that's where the opportunity is. Like,
It's open. I mean, we had a conversation before the podcast started. I'm like, oh, you did what we just talked about, right? Which is, putting up the other location, what have you. So I never even would have I wouldn't have thought of that, But it works and it brings results.
Yeah. It could work.
So it brings results, which is phenomenal, man. Congrats. That's really good.
Yeah, man. You gotta find out how you can do it in the industry. So maybe it's a niche. Maybe it can happen, right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Man, so talking about sales and marketing, what's more important for you, sales or marketing?
It's funny, like when I came from the corporate world, right? The marketing genius, they had their ideas, and the sales guys like that don't work. And I'm a sales guy. I need to see the results. And our industry is very, very complex for us to do marketing because our businesses that we do business with have to be qualified to get an account. It's through the banking institution. So, it's really hard to get good quality leads and good quality referrals through different like channels, through marketing channels because of that. But I'm a sales guy. Like, I need to see the numbers. I need to see the results. So I think sales is way more important because sales ultimately does feed the marketing and how you go to market and things of that nature. So
yeah, I think sales is the driver, right?
The driver.
And sometimes, people say, oh, you need marketing to get the leads, but how you pay for marketing, right? You need sales and
get the money.
Exactly, right? So that's why I think sales is the most important thing. And especially in our industry, both of our industry, you don't really have to spend a lot of money on marketing to start, right? You can go out there, you can go to door to door. That doesn't cost money. It costs time, but it doesn't cost money. And that's how you got started, right?
Correct.
So when you recruit someone, one of our advisors, to also go out there and do merchant services, so what are some of the traits that you look for to find an ideal candidate?
Yeah. Number one thing that we look for is we're looking for somebody that has essentially run out of their path of being successful in whatever they're currently doing. And we get a lot of guys that come from the corporate world to try to be independent and try to do it on the side. But some guys it works out and others it don't because they have a different mentality, right? And so, when we have those conversations, I have those one-on-ones with them. I'm trying to figure out what are they trying to accomplish in their life? What drives them, right? Where do they feel that they need the extra income for? Because you and I know that if you put, all the effort and you put all the, idea of going out there for your own and providing a living, like you're going to get the results and you're going to maybe minimum double or triple your income.
Yeah.
And so the question is like, what will you do with an extra 250,000 in income? Right? Or 300,000, 500, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that extra money? Right? And so I'm always looking for mental. I'm obviously looking for sales characteristics. But one of the things that I recently learned that helped us out the most was finding folks that are already in the industry. My industry is not regulated where they need a license, if you will. Yours is. So it's harder for us to teach this business. It takes a while, even for myself. Like it took from 2018 to 2021 to really like understand it and the lingo and read the statement and all the details to go out there and be successful.
Wow. So about a year it took you to kind of learn everything.
It took me like a year of focus to like really do it. But from 2018 we've always had these conversations with Jamar and like, okay, what does this mean? I'm like, he's telling me things that's like foreign to me. And it's like, okay, I need to go and learn if I really want to do this. And again, going back to the original question, when I do the recruiting, I'm looking for those characteristics, which is sales, which is tell me about your goals and aspirations, and tell me, do you work well by yourself?
That's a good one.
Do you need somebody to direct you and tell you what to do? Or are you gonna take the initiative, right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
And believe it or not, I'm looking for other entrepreneurs as well,
Exactly.
because they have that mindset of, okay, I need to go and get the results.
Yeah, that's so good. And those are really good questions to ask as well. And I think you gotta be hungry, man. That's the first thing. So if you're not hungry, this is not gonna work.
It's not.
It
doesn't matter what the industry is.
Yeah,
it really is.
I tell my agents, hey, I can give you all the training, all the support, all the mentorship you need, but I'm not gonna call you every day for you to wake up. And
even all the leads, like you can get all the leads that you want, but I mean, if you don't have targets and goals to say, hey, I want to go and get this done, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get the results. It's all a mental thing.
It's all
ultimately.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Go for it.
Tell me about a time where you had maybe the most difficult challenge in the business, right?
Okay.
In business, where maybe a hard client, maybe you were hoping to close a big deal, and it could happen. How did you do it? How do you overcome that obstacle or that challenge, and how were you able to maybe make it happen?
In our business, we don't have any contracts with the service that we provide, right? We have to earn the customer's loyalty every single month.
Wow.
Giving them the service, right?
So they can cancel like 30 days out, and
they can cancel at any moment.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Because businesses, they either go out of business or things change.
Well, yeah.
Even at a more seasoned business, competition could come in and take the business. So we get a lot of that in our side. There was a moment around 2 years ago where I lost almost 50 customers within the 3-month span.
Wow.
And that's not common in our space, number one. Number two, when you have your own book of business and it directly affects you, it also affects you mentally, because it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, you see that revenue
down. The revenue goes down,
Yeah.
and it's like, wait a minute. And even like, this is really big for our and your industry. Even though you're making residual income every single month, like, you got to continue to add to the bucket.
Yep.
You got to continue to add to the bucket, because if not, like, those clients, they may stay forever, but they may not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just having that thing in the back of your head that says you just got to keep going, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that time was extremely challenging, and I had to put my big boy pants on. I'm like, let's go. We got to do double what we were doing originally. So I had to personally do double what I was originally doing, so we can go ahead and, hedge that attrition.
Wow.
So it was tough. We learned a lot during that time frame, like who's our ideal customer, what industries to do, what industry not to do.
Mm-hmm.
The data is out there. You just got to figure out, okay, who is going to be your ideal customer, how you going to go and serve them, and in return, you're going to get the loyalty. In return, you're going to get the residuals, but also in return, you're going to get the data, which is the most important thing of, okay, I can say, and we had this conversation in the past, but I can say that my client is going to stay on the books, 36 months, 48 months, 60 months, right? Because they're in this industry, because I already have the data from other clients.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Plus you build that history, and you can kind of see, okay, how long your clients have been with you.
Correct.
So that is interesting. Do you think salespeople get comfortable after they make a certain level of income? And that's why maybe income starts going down. That happens a lot in my industry.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about that? Do you have any advice of how to get out of the comfort zone for those maybe they're already making 6 figures, 150, 200 grand, and you want to take them to the next level, maybe 250 or 5, but they're just kind of comfortable. How do you get out of that?
Man, I got 2 responses for that. So number one, going back to the mentor, right? You got to have somebody that is doing at least 5 to 10x of where you want to be at.
Wow, that's so huge.
Yeah, because they're gonna pull you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna ask them a question, and it's like, I don't do that. I don't operate in that manner, right? And it's like, wait a minute, I gotta go back and change my mentality. And going again to some of my other mentors, it's like, I asked one of my mentors, I said, hey, I got a question, man. Like, you make 7 figures a year, right? Why do you continue to grind like you just started?
Wow.
And it's like,
Somebody asked you that question.
I asked them the question because I was trying to get perspective of the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm making a couple $100,000 a year. Like, I'm good, right? And he said something so important. It was like, you just don't know how long your customers are gonna be your customers for.
Wow.
Right? And one thing that he said was, even your current customers that you have are gonna send you out to other. And so you build this huge network where it continues to feed you automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. And I'll continue to do sales. I'll continue to write business. And it's funny, like, you might get the small businesses, but then you might get the big business, and it just helps you kind of continue to pull you up. So that's always inspiring. But the second part of that answer to that question is, we constantly fight the fact of that you have this ever so evolving oh my God, I forgot what's the word,
when the economy's not good or bad or
yeah, every year it goes up. Every year expenses goes up. Oh my God.
inflation.
Oh my God. It's okay. So here, let's start from the top. We're gonna edit this one out.
No.
Inflation is not crazy.
So yeah, like, people don't think about inflation.
People don't consider inflation, and
After COVID, it's like everything got so expensive.
everything got so expensive. You're right.
Wow, that's a great perspective. So
Yeah.
so what did he say about that?
So, even for me, I think about the inflation, and he speaks about the inflation. It's like it goes up 8% on average every single year, right? And so if you're not growing at double the pace of inflation, you're either gonna stay stagnant or you're not gonna see any growth.
Double the pace.
Correct. So you need to be at minimum of a 16% growth in your personal business for you to stay ahead,
Wow.
right? And so, you think about those two things. It's like,
Oh yeah, it's like
you got to keep going.
you got to get back to work.
You got to keep going, or you find systems and processes to continue to help you grow, right? And you go from there. So if you're an agent, right, and you're out there and you're hustling, and you're making $150,000, $200,000, back in the day that was a lot of money, but nowadays I think you need to make like $400,000 a year for you to see like a actual impact to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been in my mind, like, okay, I need to hit these numbers so that way, myself or my family doesn't suffer, right? We have a better lifestyle. We have a better anything that we want, right? And so, you work for that. You work for your family. You work for you as an individual, but it's for you to have the options to go do things, go to better places, go to better schools, live in a better neighborhood, right? You always aspire for better as a human being. At least you should try.
Yeah, and that's one of the good things about you need to have goals and set yearly goals, right? Because if not, you will get comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So to wrap it out, Hector, let's talk a little bit about some of the maybe personal growth and spiritual growth you have had that have helped you throughout your career. So
Yeah.
Have you read any books that have helped you throughout your career that you can recommend? Yeah.
I read all the most common ones, the ones out there, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's a classic.
That's a classic. I've read the 10X. I've read multiple different books, but the one that I like recently that I've read was Who Not How, and it's good for me in my season of business because it essentially is the book in a nutshell. And if you haven't read it, I would highly suggest that you do, especially if you're an entrepreneur. It puts you in a mindset that you do not have to do everything by yourself, right?
That's Who Not How?
Who Not How, right?
Wow.
And so the book entails essentially you need to find your who to get you to that next level, right? Whether it's a who to do some of the tasks that you're needing to manage, or whether it's a who to find you a connection to help you grow the business. And really good book, highly recommend it. And currently I'm reading Dan Martell, How to Buy Back Your Time. That's also a good book too. So
You know, that one got recommended to me too.
oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
How to buy back of the time, man.
Sorry, yeah, leave it.
So, talking about inspirational things,
Yeah.
who has been the most influential person in your life? I think you mentioned your dad. I
Yeah.
think he had a lot to do with it, but who else? Like,
There's a couple of different people that play a huge part of it, and they're probably all the main common ones for the most part. You know, some people can relate, some people can't. But number one has been my dad. Just, you know, my dad has been an entrepreneur since he was 16, and it's funny, like people say, "Oh, you from New York," but sometimes the New York attitude and that New York style is different. You do things differently, right? The Northeast people do things differently, and I'm not trying to toot anybody's horn. You know, I see guys here in Florida that works either just as hard or harder, but you get that grit,
yes,
right?
yeah.
That thick skin, and you get that out of repetition and continually failing and then reinventing yourself. So my dad definitely number one. You know, my wife also is a key part to my success, man. And you know, it's my wife being a homemaker at the moment gave me the opportunity to focus on, you know, doing better for the family.
Yeah, being out there. Yeah.
And, you know, as a man of the house and you got kids and all that, one of the things that's extremely important is having that peace of mind that your kids and your wife is okay.
Wow.
You know, they're home. You have that peace in the back of your head. Like, that's something that you don't have to worry about. And don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of other successful entrepreneurs that have been successful with having their partners also working, you know, a regular job.
Mm-hmm.
But I have young kids, and you know, making sure that I know that my kids are doing well, my wife's doing that's a peace of mind. So
yeah, that she's taking care of them. They're
correct.
Take care. Oh man, that's so
Yeah, that helped me a lot, believe it or not,
to focus.
Focus.
Have that peace of mind. Yeah.
Correct. And the last person is again my good friend Jamar. He's pivotal to my success in the industry itself. Been a great friend, been honest, and I have nothing bad to say about none of them. I mean, these guys, like, they gave me what I needed to get the opportunity. Correct.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it's so amazing to see that you respect that. And, and you know, there's some you know, respect to him because of what he showed you, right?
Of course.
That's so important. That's so important.
Yeah.
Last question.
Go for it.
If you needed to give an advice to your 20-year-old self, what would you say to Hector?
Oh my God. When I was 20, man, I was trying to figure things out, believe it or not. Funny enough, I was trying to get my my insurance license.
No way.
Yeah, my daddy's story.
Oh
yeah,
no.
my dad, since I turned 18, go get your insurance license. Go get your 215. Go get your 215.
Wow.
And I've always had aspiration to not let him down, you know, and get it and join the family business, if you will. And it never happened. You know, God had other plans. I tried the exam 3 times.
No way.
But you know, I look back and I think, like, I was trying to satisfy my need and his want kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was such in a bad place mentally that I wasn't focused to do it. I didn't have no pressure to do it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So if I had to tell my 20-year-old self, it's just to be patient.
Wow.
Be patient, because eventually you'll figure it out. Eventually it'll come. Eventually, you know, you'll understand, like, okay, this works for me and this doesn't. Mm-hmm. So just patient. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Patience is such a virtue.
Yeah, I agree.
You have it. All right, man. This has been great, man. Thanks so much, Hector. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, managing partner Florida Merchant Services. Thank you for being here. Great advice. And guys, that has been everything for this Ideas Edition podcast. Share this information with your friends, family. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media, and I'll see you all on our next Ideas Edition episode. Take care.